Hi YouTube, it's YouTuber again, and we're finally going to continue on with our Japanese lesson. And I know, it's just been sitting there, you just see lesson 1 there for 2 months, and there's no lesson 2. I would like to continue on with another introduction, and this introduction I would like to talk to you about vowel. With languages, vowel really makes up the sound of how they sound. So even if you're to listen to accents, if you're to hear a New York accent to a Southern accent, they sound pretty different in English. That's what I mean is English. The New York accent and the Southern accent. And like the New York accent, they're just more in front. They say things more directly, it's brighter sounding. Whereas a Southern accent, I know I'm not pro at doing accents, but just to give you an idea. The Southern accent is just, in general, it's a lower drawl, and it has a darker sound, and then of course they swing it. So you could hear the general difference between them too. So with languages, you could really hear the difference between certain ones. For example, English and Japanese, mainly what we're working with right now. English has a darker sound than Japanese. And so when I'm talking to you about vowels, such as a, the a vowel in Japanese is a lot brighter sounding than English. Ah. If we were to say an a vowel, like ah, we would say ah. But with Japanese, it's a. It's not so much the shape of my mouth is different, but it's like the placement of the tongue and how you say it. So English is ah. Japanese is a. Just a lot more closed. And then oo is a very big thing. In English, we'll say oo, like tool. But in Japanese, it's not oo, it's oo. And see how it has that abrupt stop as well? You have oo. But if let's say there's a long oo sound, like in English, oo, you say oo, oo. It's more closed. Those of you that know French, this part will be easy, because in French, it's very similar. I would be like ooh, it's ooh. It's just a really much more closed, focused sound. But Japanese is much brighter than French. So you have ooh and then ooh. There's another one, probably o. See, like in the last lesson, I remember I talked about how, well, when I said Goku, most Americans would pronounce it Goku. It's like that O sound, but no, you're not supposed to go O. The O sound in Japanese is O. So O and O. Now to continue on with our lesson, the first lesson we talked about how to greet people, saying Ohayo gozaimasu for the morning, konnichiwa in the afternoon, and konbanwa in the evening. Now to continue on with what we're going to teach, I would like to teach you how to say your name. And this is a common one that you learn in class or even in books on your own, but I would like to teach it to you directly as far as pronunciation and also the minor details in how you could introduce yourself or how you could say what your name is. So the common one that you hear often is Watashi no namae wa blank desu. So in my case, it would be Watashi no namae wa YouTuber desu. Now, when you see it in the Romaji, the English characters, you'll see Watashi wa, Watashi no namae wa something something desu. But see at the end you see desu. Right? Because in the Japanese characters you have de and su. So that's why you end it with, you see it written as desu. But when you pronounce it, you say des. Okay, so let me pronounce to you how most common Americans would pronounce it as, just so you could get it in your ear, and I'll say the proper pronunciation afterwards. Okay? So, Watashi no namae wa YouTuber desu. Okay, let me say it one more time, okay? Watashi no namae wa YouTuber desu. Now the proper way. 私の名前は YouTuber です。You hear that? Okay, now let me tell you. The difference, like I said in the last lesson, at least I think I did, is that Americans, English, actually Western language in general, are accented. That is one big thing between the Far East languages and the Western languages, is that Western languages tend to be a lot more accented. So, like I said, a lot more accented, right? A lot. So, that's why when most Americans or English speakers are to read that sentence, they'll put the accent. Watashi wa. Watashi wa. But in Japanese, you don't say watashi wa. You say watashi wa. You hear that? It's pretty flat, right? Watashi wa. Watashi wa. Or actually, it's supposed to be watashi no. So, watashi no and watashi no. So, we have watashi no namae wa. Again, it's not namae wa. Watashi no namae wa. Oh, it's almost like Valley Girl. Watashi no namae wa. It's not like that. Please don't do that. So it's watashi no namae wa. Kind of goes up there. Here tonally. Watashi no namae wa. Namae wa. It's really smooth. Namae wa. It's a smoother language. And then you say your name and then des. So I'll say it the proper way this time only. Watashi no namae wa YouTuber desu. In Japanese, you move your mouth less, and you don't use your abs as much, or your diaphragm as much to support your sound. Like Germans would definitely have this, they would use their diaphragm, but Japanese, it's all here. Japanese is a closed language. That's why it has a brighter sound. English is like watashi no, that's why it has a brighter sound. But in Japanese, you want to have it more closed sounding. So, watashi no namae wa YouTuber desu. Now, if you would like to ask someone's name, if they don't say what their name is, you could ask by replacing watashi wa with anata no, and then end it with nandesuka. So together it would be Anata no namae wa nandesuka? I'll say it again. Anata no namae wa nandesuka? That's a more direct way of saying things. Because in Japanese culture, it's very rude. It's on the rude side to be direct. Everything you just say it in a roundabout way. See, Americans, if they want to go from point A to point B, they'll be like, well, what's the quickest, most economical way? Well, you just go from point A to point B really fast. Well, Japanese, you go from here, and then all around to there. That's how you say things. So, it's just kind of a little background into the culture. So, instead of saying, Anata no namae wa nandesu ka? That's pretty direct. Anata no. You would, probably the best way to ask is, onamae wa nandesu ka? How you would say the word name, namae, is onamae. When you put the o, it makes it a lot more gentle, makes it softer sounding, and makes it sound more respectful to a certain degree. So instead of namae wa nandesu ka, that's kind of direct, and not many people really say it that way. So the proper way of saying it is onamae wa nandesu ka? I'll say it again. Onamae wa nandesu ka? See, a lot softer, a lot more respectful and courteous and blah 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 blah. All that. Now back to Anata no namae wa nandesu ka? We add the anata, right? Yours, which means yours. So, your name, what is it? What is it? Anata, like most people pronounce it would be anata or anata. No, there's no accents. It would just be wrong. Anata or anata. It's anata no. Kind of goes up like that. Anata no onamae wa nandesu ka? Maybe doing this might help for some people. Anata no お名前はなんですか? It's a common scoop up at the end for a question, just like in English. What's your name? お名前はなんですか? なんですか? So we've gotten through the greeting and saying your name and asking the person's name, and you'll have to wait till lesson 3 to continue on the conversation. Otherwise, you're just probably going to stop there and have an awkward silence. Alright, so this concludes lesson 2, and I'll see you for lesson 3. Okay?